versus Siri versus Google Assistant. Which smart assistant wins? As if managing our interpersonal relationships weren't already challenging enough in this digital day and age, now we have to worry about talking to artificial people as well. The rise of virtual assistants has been surprisingly swift, and the market hasn't slowed down yet. But with so many choices for intelligent agents, the question is, where do you put your trust? So here's a rundown of the current state of the art in the top 3 virtual assistants: Alexa, Siri, and Google Assistant. We tested them on an Amazon Echo, iPhone 7 and Google Home, respectively, using a battery of questions to determine each of their skill levels. While they offer many of the same features, each assistant has its own advantages and disadvantages, and, of course, the assistant's software-based nature means that they're all evolving at a rapid clip. But, as it stands today, this is how they fared. Back in the old days, when I had a question, my parents would tell me to look it up. Disclaimer: my parents were both librarians, so this wasn't unexpected. These days, you can just ask a computer. So, we asked each of the digital assistants to answer a battery of 20 questions of general knowledge. Our overall winner in the category was, perhaps unsurprisingly, Google Assistant. It answered more questions correctly than either Siri or Alexa, as well as generally giving context and often citing a source website for the information. Given that it's backed by Google's powerful search technology, that's to be expected. It fell down only on a couple of questions. It couldn't tell me when the next episode of Arrow aired, though it could interpret that as a TV listing. It gave me departure time for an upcoming flight, even though I asked for the arrival time. And in a question about the American League Championship Series, it gave me recent scores, but not the overall standing of the series. However, it was the only one that could tell me how long chicken stays good in the fridge, gave me detailed information about the distance to Jupiter, and correctly identified what most scholars believe to be Shakespeare's first play. Google Assistants are fared the worst in this department, though Apple employees have previously defended their assistant as not having been designed to answer trivia questions. In 1/4 of the questions I asked, Siri only said that it found something on the web and displayed search results on screen. In another 3, it similarly displayed info from Wolfram Alpha. It also required the most repeated queries, and I had to type in a corrected query when it misheard the word lintel and gave me the definition of lentil. However, it did provide the best info on the ALK standings and was the only one that asked me to clarify which movie I meant when I asked how long The Avengers was. The 2012 superhero film, naturally. Siri on an iPhone and Alexa on an Amazon Echo. Alexa did a fair to middling job, generally giving solid, fast answers with context, though it sometimes gave slightly inaccurate answers on Chris Hemsworth's height and the distance to Jupiter, and it rounded up on how many meters are in 5 miles. General knowledge standings: 1. Google Assistant, 2. Alexa, 3. Siri. Music should be a strong suit for any smart assistant. Each of the 3 obviously integrates with its own music services, and in some cases ties in with third-party offerings as well. A request to play the Rolling Stones' Painted Black was handled adroitly by Alexa because I subscribe to Amazon's Music Unlimited streaming service, and Siri, where the song is in my library. The Google Assistant gave me an internet radio station based on my request, but I also don't subscribe to Google Play Music, the company's paying music service. Both Google Assistant and Alexa responded to my request to play upbeat 80s music by playing a station that matched that description. Siri gave me a cryptic response and didn't play anything, though that's because I don't have a $9.99 a month Apple Music subscription. Siri playing podcasts was more of a hit-or-miss affair. While all 3 assistants easily played the most recent episode of Wait, Don't Tell Me, they struggled a bit with the more obscure podcast. When I requested the most recent episode of the Dragon Friends podcast, Alexa couldn't understand the question. Siri resumed the most recently downloaded episode on my phone, but then couldn't find any newer episodes. and only Google Home came through with flying colors. All three, however, did pretty well in playing the most recent episode of the Incomparable podcast. Google Play Mini and Google Assistant. Both Google Home and Amazon Echo offer multi-room audio functionality, including creating groups of speakers via your smartphone. Alexa also supports audio playback from some music services to Sonos speakers, while Google Home can communicate with any Chromecast-connected speaker. Apple promises